Here goes little mini skid steer. It's on its way to the off-grid plot. Hi, we're Ian and Julie. Follow us on our tiny homestead and our debt-free project of a lifetime, the building of our shipping container home here in the Pyrenees, and all of this alongside our full-time jobs. But first for me, Mr. Tyson's off to the field. It was new rug day for Tyson yesterday. He's got his new rug for the winter. Tested it out yesterday with a roll, so it's all nice and snug. Oh, there he goes, he's happy.
Well, good morning and welcome back to the channel. I'm Ian and Julie will be arriving very soon, but you saw in our last video that we got gifted this little Nuoman midi skid steer, and yeah, we still can't believe it. We're still pinching ourselves. But what a heavy unit it is. I carry my little Kubota tractor and also the excavator, the 1-ton excavator. But this, with those implements, just feels so much heavier. I'm sure it's over a ton. So that wasn't so bad. I'm going to ditch the forks somewhere. I'm trying to find somewhere dry, and then I'll put the bucket on and Julie will go off and get the gravel. But that came off a lot easier than I was expecting. I think I'm getting used to putting on the bucket and taking off the forks. It's pretty easy, just 2 little levers, and you tilt it and it drops off. Just like I think any mini skid steer quick release. So yeah, pretty happy with that. All on, ready for the gravel. We've got some work to do inside as well. We've got to get ready for the solar panel installation.
So today I'm back at the quarry. We're getting the what's known as 2040, the slightly larger stones, and that's what's going at the back of one of our retaining walls. I feel very small here today.
Right, we're back in the garage. Got the little propane heater on. It will warm this up in no time, hopefully. Right, so we've got all this shelving here. I keep moving it from one place to the other. That's the trouble when you're doing building work, I suppose. But I've got to extend this conduit just here, all the way across this back wall, because in that corner there, I'm going to drill outside, and that will meet up with that red conduit that I put in for the solar panel pole. And so what we're thinking of doing is basically just cutting this shelving in half so it forms a long bench all the way along there, and that will then allow that conduit to sit above it as if it was a proper bench. So we're going to take all of this stuff off, rearrange the shelving, put it back in, and then we can carry on with the conduit. Now I've got them all apart, I've got to reconfigure them, so they've all got a top. 2 will only have 2 shells and the other will have 3. So the ones with 2 shells, I'll make sure the bottom is big enough to get all the cans of paint and things like that in. Right, let's get on with this then. All these little bits are going to be redundant now, but I will keep them for when we actually configure these shells in their final position. if there ever is going to be a final position, until we make up all our nice bench system and wall cupboards and all the rest of it, I do have a few plans in my head. And there's too many videos on YouTube that you watch that just give you too many ideas, but we won't tell Julie that. Right, that's all right. So I've got now space for all my conduit, which is up there. I can't get to it. Get the ladder.
Right, you start passing it down to me then.
Got it.
Yeah, I'll just rest it on the top.
Don't really need to, don't we?
Yeah, for this back one, look, took one in a bit, and then you've got enough to start the return.
Yeah, all right.
Yeah.
So I decided to use this open conduit just because when you first start these projects, you have no idea where you want things, especially as I said earlier, we're going to have all benches and wall cupboards, all the rest of the stuff. So we're just going to put all of this, extend that, and if you look here, these little plug sockets just slot in really nicely, so you can slide those anywhere you want, and it's not too industrial, but it's more office, but they'll be fine for us. All right, so I'm going to get these up, get the level on. All right, let me just double check. I've gone to my bigger level, and I've got to watch because there is a metal stud behind here, just on the wrong bit. So just to secure the bottom a bit better, I've got some self-tapping screws. That will get through into this metal stud. That's better.
Floki and Freya are back with us this afternoon in their little fleeces. They don't like the cold. What's that, Floki? Where's he gone?
That should be okay, and that's full of sockets and all my machines along here. Right, now next job is to find where I need to drill through here and get onto the outside. I'm thinking around there. I'll measure up here and then go outside and measure. So that's 12 mil OSB, isn't it? So if I did it 20 from that, so from the wall the other side, it should be 21.2. That goes directly 21.2 right in the center of that board. So this red one, that's all wet, will come around here and then basically into another junction box there, and then the two junction boxes are back to back, and I'll have a hole straight through in readiness for the cable. Should work. Oh, it's so hot, horrible out here. This is where we're going to have the extra garage. So there'll be a back wall, a small pony sort of wall on top of the concrete blocks, and then just above it up here, where that board is, that's going to be the ledger plate for the sloping roof. So it'll go a bit further. It's 5 meters long, and that will then cover it all up. And it was the plan but we didn't put it in the planning permission because we didn't want to increase the actual roofed area. But now we've got all this up, we can sneak it in.
Gosh, you were lucky, Ian. You've gone just above a wooden noggin. Whoa, that's neat. As we're doing an addition on the back of the garage workshop, that roof, that's delaying the fact that we can't finish putting the siding on. So the wood that's here, this is the wood that's going to be for the siding at the back. We really need to move it out the way for now because we keep tripping over it. Now I've got this nice flat surface at the back. It's an ideal opportunity. Get this wood over here out the way, plus it gives us access to finish this last bottom section of the OSB.
This is the first time we've had near enough both sides clear. All that siding wood or the when we framed out the place was always stacked here, so we could never get to this part to finish off. But oh, looks like we've got so much space we could near enough dance across.
That's worse than Dad dancing, Ian.
Look at this, and all this is neat. We will get through this siding, I promise you, but now we've decided on the roof outside. That's why we've just put a little halt on that, but we've got everything here to finish that off. Tomorrow we'll give the mini skid steer a go, taking all that gravel out the trailer. I'm hoping I can just go up the ramp, take it out, back down and pour it. That's the plan. But tomorrow's a nice sunny day, frosty in the morning, so it won't churn up all the grass. As I think I said in the last video, I chose the tracks instead of the wheels because we're on a slopey site, so I thought it would be a lot more stable, hoping it's a lot more stable. With stability comes churning up everything. So when you're, like we saw with the gravel drive and the donuts, when you're going backwards and forwards with these, it does churn up the drive, the gravel or the grass.
Good morning, cheeky lady. And one little girl. Can't wait for breakfast. You're super cheeky, girls. Come on. I've got to get out. You're not letting me out. Oh no, I'm being... It's a chicken takeover. Oh, you are naughty. And there's more waiting. Oh, you are cheeky girls. It's been super frozen every morning here this past week. So each morning I bring the girls a bucket of warm water. Then, yeah, there we go. Just to fill their water pot up.
Good morning. Oh, it's a bit frosty out, which is really good for the mini skid steer, and we're going to get up to the plot in a minute, but I just needed to get into the garage. Give you a quick update on the car. As you can see, it's all in bits again. Engine runs beautifully, but I was just getting so much oil leakage, and I didn't know which part it was coming from, whether it was the engine or the gearbox. I think I've now narrowed it down to the gearbox, and I'm waiting on a seal. And also, while it was out last time, a friend of mine saw the photograph and said, "Whoa, you're using the wrong sort of thrust bearing plate on the end of the gearbox." Now, I've used the one I've been using for years, and I've had a little bit of oil leakage, but I've never really put it down to anything. It wasn't a lot. But because I've been taking this engine in and out, probably 5 times now since I've been working on it, it has increased the size of the seal, of course, because of the constant in and out. And I think the plate was actually affecting it. I have rummaged around in my cupboards, as you can see here. These are all my spare parts. I couldn't believe it. I found one. It was a rusty mess, horrible. It's got a different mechanism on as well. I'll show you that now. But I had to clean all that up. I do have a little sandblaster there. I haven't used it for years, and it's all leaky and horrible, but it actually did the job this time with sand that's been in there probably 5 or 6 years. So it's not the driest of sand. So we're 1 week away before leaving for Monte Carlo, and I've got to get this engine back in. I'm just waiting on this seal. It was posted 2 days ago. It's tiny, look. This is the seal here. Nothing special. I just ordered it off a seal company, a bearing company actually, that does all seals. Now these are the 2 plates. So this is my original. It's an aluminium plate. And that's from my original gearbox, but the original gearbox is a 3-speed gearbox. First gear is not synchronized, so it's quite difficult to drive. Now my new gearbox, which is that one there, is a 4-speed gearbox. Again, the first gear is not synchronized, but that is the plate that is supposed to be used. Now, if I can get them together, look at the thickness of them. So I was wondering why my motor was being forced forward on the engine mounts, and putting a bit of stress on the engine mounts, and that is probably the reason. So I've cleaned up all of this plate. That's the thrust bearing there, and that basically, when I pull the clutch or press the clutch pedal, it pulls a cable and pulls that in to engage or disengage the clutch on the motor. So I'm just waiting for a new seal, which goes into there, and that then stops the oil coming from around this shaft, and that's where that seal sits there. And what was happening, either the plate was too thick and the seal was coming around this thinner section here, or it just widened up. And I put a drill on here. I span it up with my drill, and I was getting little splashes coming out. So I'm hoping it is that. So what I'm going to do now is put my old plate on the end of my flywheel and clutch assembly over on the motor, so it's all sealed up. And I'm going to run the motor for a good 30 minutes and just see if any oil or anything comes out. There's a tiny little hole in the bottom of the sump there. Not in the sump, but in the bell housing. If anything comes out of there, I don't know what I'm going to do. This week has been awful. I was just going to pack it all in and cancel the rally. You don't get anything back, no entry fees or anything back. All the hotels are paid for. Oh, it was awful. So get this on test, wait for the seal, get up the plot, and let's get this skid steer. Let's get some fun back into my life after all this engine work. I will see you up in the plot in 2 minutes.
How many do you want to put in? 4?
I don't know. Yeah, we'll put 4 in.
I should.
Right.
So we've got 4 in there. Oh, it's a hefty unit, isn't it? It should take the weight.
The amount of times we've moved these. We're not going to buy anything for any project until we're actually ready to do the project. Problem at all, I don't think. Look at that.
No problem. You don't feel unstable on it. Well, you don't look it.
No, no.
Towards me a bit. Yeah. This lump's frozen solid. Yeah. Ooh, I'm breaking him up.
This is definitely not the easiest of tests, trying to drive it into this trailer at an angle, but Julie's just loosening up the frosty, icy stuff, because when I go up, I'm at that, and then I tilt, and of course I'm above the gravel. So what we're trying to do is just tilt the bucket, sorry, go across the flat. If this was just flat ground with a big pile of gravel, it'd be simple, but and I'm also going on at a kink as well, so it's good fun. Very, very, very stable on the thumbs, just to move it around. Much easier than the excavator, I must say.
Do you want me to lift the... Oh, you're putting it there.
Right, final phase, just knock these as close. It's just an extra little bit of drainage. Well, I did all right. A bit of a play, but I got all the soil over to here. It is a lot easier than the tractor. It's a lot faster and easier than the excavator. Just the maneuverability on these little small plots. I can just move them about and get wherever it wants to go. And just shifting stuff. Those concrete blocks, you know, they're blimmin' heavy. And I think even in the tractor that would have struggled chucking in 6 in the front of that. So this little unit, even without my weight on the back, it didn't struggle whatsoever. Well, we got to use the mini skid steer today. Bit muddy, but I think we did all right with it. I can get it in and out of the trailer, although I don't really want to do that too many times because the trailer is a bit little for it.
We'll put an up-to-date description below for this unit and also our mini excavator. So hop over to the Nuoman website, have a look what they've got.
And you'll see Julie's face.
I can't believe I'm on there.
I've got a lot of work to do on the car as well. Get that engine back in. 1 week to go before we go to the rally. But hopefully in the next week's video, we will have that solar panel up on the plinth. We need as much solar as we can to power this place while we're away doing the rally. Yeah, because we've sort of blocked it with the tractor. The panel we do have at the moment where it is, we're blocking it with the tractor and the mini pel. So. Yeah. So we will see you in next week's video. By that time we should be probably on the road as well. Fingers crossed. The little rally car's got to be on the road. And after that we'll see you on the rally. We're going to do quite a few little shorts while we're on the rally because we won't have time to do any editing or anything. So we'll see you next week. As always, thumbs up, like and subscribe, and we'll see you next week, guys.